didn't see you come in there. Oh, wow. Great. It's great to see you. Yeah. Thank you. Wow, I can't believe you showed up at a time like this. How'd my day go? You want to know? How was the concert? Oh, you knew about that too. Today's July 27th, the morning of, which means that last night was the day before PentaCon, though it was already such a climax. It is July 27th, and that means that yesterday was July 26th, and as a result, I saw Pentatonix in concert. Wow. Alright, so it's July 27th. Yes, that's right. Last night was the concert, Dallas, Texas, Pentatonix concert. I wanted to make a video as soon as possible, and honestly I was a bit worried because I was kind of hesitant to do it last night because it was about like 2 a.m. around the time I was able to do it, and at that point it's like I knew I had to be up relatively early the next day, so didn't want to get myself into some hoo-ha. So it kind of just worked out. I never even thought, the next morning I'll be up early enough to do the video that morning. Now, never even came into the equation. I was like, maybe I'll have to do it at the end of PentaCon day 1. I'll have to do the video talking about the concert and PentaCon right after each other. But hey, here we are. And I also wanted the set list to be out, so that way it would help me guide through the concert as well. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Dallas, Texas right now for PentaCon and also the Pentatonix Dallas concert, which coincidentally was the day before the convention. And I have the fullest VIP package you could get, which was what they called the backstage performance, usually private performance, this concert, which also gave me meet and greet and sound check. And essentially I already decided before this that I probably won't get VIP for a long time unless there's really something special, because I've kind of checked off everything from the bucket list. I'll have done sound check, let's go back. I did the regular concert, no VIP. I did it with sound check and meet and greet, and now this one tacked on the last one, which is private performance. You can't get any bigger than that. So I feel like I've experienced it all, and to top it all off, it was the PentaCon weekend that this happened, so it's almost like the ultimate amalgamation, But to tell you how the VIP went, obviously I want to work through that before I express that I did not really think the value was worth it for me for the Christmas VIP meet and greet at least. So we'll see if my opinions have changed or not. You'll hear about it right now. You best believe. So, a lot happened the day of this event. For some reason, I didn't have it in my mind that I'd be meeting so many people the day before PentaCon. I was like, okay, we'll probably meet a lot of people at the concert itself. But I didn't really process the fact that I would be at the hotel for so long before that I already got to meet several people. I had the pleasure of meeting all the reactors, aside for Shay until the concert when he arrived, because he was rushing to get there on time. Got to meet a lot of different people. So Rob and Phil, Rob Reactor, Sweet Phil, they were gracious enough to let me ride with them to the concert, so that's how we went. Went around 4:30, and we ended up getting back at around 11 at night, so that told you how big of an event it really was, just the concert itself. So we left the hotel at 4, got there at 4:30, and then everybody was huddled around outside the ticket booth. Everyone was waiting. They eventually got us in lines, separated private performance, did the photo booth thing, which is obviously always stupid. But it's goofy, so I did one with Hassan. If I can post it, here it is. Wow, that was wonderful. Yeah, so private performance people were waiting for a while over in this section that we had moved to near the photo booth. But then it's like 15 minutes had passed, and they were like, "Oh, you could have gone through with everybody else." So by this time, everybody else is already in the and this is like an outside venue, so there's like all these vendors and everything outside before you go into the concert, which is very unique to the ones I've been to. All of the concerts I've been to just been enclosed areas, not big vendors and everything. This one had beer, spiked lemonade, wine. And yeah, they had the worst chicken tenders I've ever had. But, well, maybe. I'd say so. I rarely have bad chicken tenders. But as far as, like, not store-bought ones at least, this is probably at the bottom of the list. I paid $12 for chicken tenders and french fries. It's awful, but I needed to eat something. I hadn't eaten really anything except for a little breakfast that day. So there was that. I also paid $8 for a large lemonade, which was supposed to give me a free refill, but I threw away my cup because I didn't want to carry it around the whole concert, and then they wouldn't let me have a free refill. They're like, well, you need a cup. What, am I going to put it in your hands? I was like, okay. That's kind of an ignorant thing to say. What like, you're really that desperate to not spare any cups? Really, that's the resource you're holding on to? You're like, no, we made you pay $8 for just one cup, but yet you had to keep that cup. That's the essential part. Great. So that was awesome. $20 for that beautiful meal. But essentially VIP, we were told it was going to be private performance first, but then they kind of changed their minds and it ended up being sound check, then meet and greet, then private performance, right where meet and greet was. But regardless, VIP people were waiting there for a lot of time. It was like there was the whole line obviously leading up to it, and then after that we waited for like 20 minutes in the open vendor area outside. It was obviously hot. That was the biggest theme of this event, I guess, that we're going for. It was like, all right, it's gonna be hot, Dallas, Texas. So that was fun. I mean, that was an experience. We all got to share the heat, so it's not like some of us were hot, some of us were not, which is usually how my life goes. So yeah, then they put us in the traditional lines of you're going to line up, walk right out to sound check. Did that. Sound check, as always, is really nothing. They literally did one or two songs at the most. Then they did questions, which it's a fake sound check anyway. Obviously, you can hear them doing the real sound check on the way. So it's like, that's always kind of a bummer. I feel bad for people who just get sound check because it's like, all right, this is my VIP thing, and you don't really get anything. So I would never recommend getting sound check if it's not just for the seats, because sound check you do get that early spot in the pit especially. So after that, they had all people have meet and greet, go line up over here, and then that started the huge, hot, sweaty line all the way to meet and greet. They have, of course, the line which takes you to get the group picture, and then you go out of that line all the way to the back. This is the traditional Pentatonix VIP process. You go to the back, and now you go work your way back up to get your things signed in that typical meet and greet format. For me, I didn't really think about it till like the day or two before the event, so I didn't have time to get creative or even get the most recent CD. I tried last second to go to Walmart and see if they had it, but nope. So I did just get them to sign a Pentatonix Christmas, deluxe. Last time I got them to sign the regular Pentatonix Christmas, which has a considerably better cover. It has all of them on it happy. But the problem was that was just all Avi, and Matt still signed in there, but it was Avi on the front. So this one at least was more appropriate. It was almost like a redo of the last signing, because this one was where Matt actually contributed, and it's not Avi on the front of it. So I got that. That's not always the biggest thing for me. I'd like to get something cooler from the design if I ever do that again, but. Yeah, after that, we all were told to sit there for private performance people. You had nice gold star on our VIP lanyards. I have one of these things. It changes colors depending on how you tilt it. That's nice. I always like lanyards, and I like I would have liked to. I want a nice Pentatonix lanyard though that says Pentatonix on it, not one of these cloth little rope strings. And with one of these cards, I like the cards though. I like those. I like to save these from events if I ever can, because then it's always it's a one reminder you definitely have. So, private performance. This is the big grand creme de la creme. They sang "Take Me Home," which was great. It's definitely a good private performance song. But honestly, I think most people can admit this. Private performance, you don't really do it for the performance itself. It's cool to be that close, but I mean, I've been relatively that close before. At PTX Miss in July, picture. But it's still very cool. It's very weird, especially when I first walked into the meet and greet thing. Most of the meet and greet pictures that are taken in front of the walls in the venues I've been to, they're always kind of like behind something. Like you'll see the wall, but you have to, the line goes around it, so you don't see them until you go right around. But this one, you have a line leading up to them, so you could see people taking their pictures, and they literally looked like wax figures to me. Like if they just stood still, I'd be like, oh, this is a nice little pose you can do at Madame Tussauds. But no, they are real. And again, I have to stress that they are so beautiful in person. Kirsten had this beautiful dress going on. That was nice. But all of them are really beautiful in person. I already knew that, but... So private performance. They sing, and then they quickly go into the selfie portion. Honestly, someone who in there, like Hassan, could tell me probably if it was more rushed than usual, or how much time you usually get, but I felt like it was pretty rushed. It's like certain people got to talk to them longer because they knew them, and they felt more comfortable talking to them, I guess. And also, if you like kind of trapped them and you're like, ooh, let's keep talking about this, let's keep talking, they're not going to go away. But for the most part, they seem to be going quick. Like Mitch especially was like, just let's get this picture real quick, and then he went. I'm like, all right. But yeah, some of them I didn't really get to talk to much, even though I tried to talk as much as possible, because I knew this was an experience I wasn't going to get otherwise. I tried to express my gratitude to them more. Kevin was cool again, saying he watched my reactions, really likes my reactions, and I was like, okay, I don't believe you, really. You could say that, but... And he's like, yeah, I watched the whole down reaction. He said the video is pretty long, but I watched the whole thing. I'll have to fact check that. I don't remember how long that was. Picture. So, I mean, something I take away from this a lot is that they're also, like, glowingly beautiful in person, really up close and personal. It was nice to finally get those Pentatonix hugs. It was the first time I actually got to hug them, because in all the other events I've really done, it's like there's no hugging in the other stages of the VIP. So Kirsten was, of course, even more beautiful up in person. Matt Salih had that smile. Kevin is like, he's crazy, like, outgoing. He's amazing. You could just see him bursting out with these reactions all throughout the meet and greet when people are coming by. He's like super grateful about everything, and he's just so cool to talk to. He makes it really easy to talk to. Yeah, just that same outgoing personality, so present when he performs too. Him and Matt Salih were crazy on the concert, but that's what I'll get into soon. So private performance, didn't get to talk too much. I tried to save a couple things. I got to talk to some more than others, but grateful I got the selfies at least. Picture, 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 picture. Overall, VIP. Was it worth the price? No. I don't want to be negative, but I gotta be brutally honest. I think, I'd be interested to hear others' opinions on this. I wanted to talk about this experience with somebody else, but it didn't really feel appropriate to take someone right in the morning and be like, hey, you want to do a video? No. because we got a long day ahead of us, I guess. But I feel like it's easy for Pentatonix fans and fans of specific things can always put on these rose-tinted glasses and, you know, be like, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, the cost doesn't matter too much to me because I love the people so much. I love the group so much. I want to support them in any way possible. I love just getting the selfies is nice enough to see them up close. But honestly, if you take a step back, look at it objectively, if it's any other group, if it's not your favorite group, if you say Pentatonix is your favorite group, you know, they can do almost no wrong in your eyes. Then, you know, if you heard the same details, like for the VIP, for some other artist you don't care about, then I feel like you'd have a much more negative reaction. You'd be like, oh wow, that's what they did with that much money got you that. I just felt like it was more rushed than usual. Maybe I should have held them captive more and tried to like really hook them in and get them not to leave. I mean, it's not like they were running away. They wouldn't have ran away if I tried to engage, but they were really quickly trying to move through people because there were more than there generally are, as I've heard. There's usually like 10 people in private performance. This one had like 16, maybe even 17 in private performance. Crazy amount because they have to get through all this before the actual concert. And then to top it all off, because they're in the pit, a lot of us are in the pit, and the good thing about VIP is you get out there first. That's one of the biggest highlights of VIP is that not only do you get all this cool stuff before the concert, but you get to the very front of the pit and right up in front of the stage. No, not this time. they were like, no, we let the public in already, so you mean you'll be just kind of going in there after them? So we're like, oh, cool, so that means we're just going to be in the back then. Cool, so I would have been better off getting Soundcheck, who got to stay there, and they would have been first guaranteed, than I am getting my private performance, my meet and greet. What's going on? Something's twisted in the priority list here. Not a huge deal to me, but it's like, if you're paying that much money, come on. It's like, they said, no, that's not really part of the package. But it's kind of like one of those gotcha moments, because it's like, no, if you look at the package, it doesn't say, oh, you're going to be the first guaranteed in the pit. It's just kind of always been in the history of Pentatonix VIP. Okay. What?
Searching for VIP on the iTunes store.
Siri really thought I was talking to her. I don't know how she got the phrase, hey Siri, out of that. Hey Siri, how much does Pentatonix VIP cost for private performance?
Let me think. I found something on the web about Hey Siri, how much does Pentatonix VIP cost of private performance mean? Check it out.
Yeah, so for me, the value wasn't there. It was really an insane amount. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how much I paid. Let me check it out, just for posterity, so I can say just how much I put into this. So I'm not just gonna throw this opinion out willy nilly, being negative for no reason, because I paid top dollar. I've raced into the site can't be reached. This hotel's got beautiful Wi-Fi, by the way. There is no internet connection. Loading. Okay? Well, how about I do this? Price tag. That's private performance price right there. Yeah, look at that number. Whoa. That's on top of the Pentatonix concert ticket. That's on top of getting here. So could it have been better? Yes. It would have been nice to really get into a full kind of conversation with them. But honestly, I do love them so much. In person, they're so beautiful inside and out. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. I just love, you got some great personalities in there, some great faces in there. It's great. Great voices too. It helps for this. But let's move on to the actual concert, which started with Caleb Scott and then went to Echo Smith, who are their people who go before them. I forget what the name of that is. I knew nothing about them beforehand. Caleb Scott, I actually didn't get into towards the back half, if not a little later, into his set, unfortunately, because I wanted to get something to eat, so I had to get the beautiful chicken tender basket, which was $12. So that's why I showed up a little late there, but you could still kind of hear it on the speakers. That's been nice about an outside venue like this. Very cool. I could definitely go for a venue like this in the future. I like this a lot, and not in terms of the heat, but in terms of the setup. But when I did get in there, I got in to see Caleb Scott perform probably three or so songs. This guy I definitely have not heard of at all. And I really was impressed by his voice. He had this incredible range, and it really went for this note, and he was just taken aback by all the crazy applause he was getting, and like, it was really nice to see like genuine reactions from this guy, where it was like he like killed this one note and then everyone was cheering so hard, and he's like, ooh, he had this reaction going on. He was getting like emotional about it, and he's like, I live for moments like those. He had some sort of accent, I forget what it was. He's like, I live for moments like those. That's amazing. Dallas, I'll come back if you'll have me. So maybe I'll have to check him out on something. Is he on YouTube? Where is he? Does he have albums? I don't know, but definitely impressive voice, and genuinely seems passionate about it, which is something I always love to look for. I love to look for it. Then we had Echo Smith, and I was like, who are Echo Smith? This is some like techno group. I've never heard of Echo Smith before. And then this gorgeous woman comes out. I'm like, all right, cool. They had a band going on there too. Yeah, this gorgeous red-haired woman. I didn't get any pictures during the event, really, by the way. I really wanted to take it all in. Also, my phone wouldn't take very good pictures. I could have brought the camera, but I didn't want to bring it in all that mess. But Echo Smith, I heard them, and they were like, oh, this is actually really good. It was kind of like Caleb Scott was that one like passionate guy breaking it down, and then they amped it up to Echo Smith, which was like really pumping people up, I guess. And then she sang, I forget what the song was, but I was like, oh, I actually know this song. I was like, oh, felt like a pretty big song on the radio. I really liked the song. And then the one I do remember by name was Cool Kids, because that's the one that Hassan mentioned to me that most people know them for. And I was like, that sounds familiar, but I don't know it offhand. But then as soon as the song starts, the first few chords, I was like, okay, now I know. So there's 2 songs I actually knew from them, never knew the group, but very impressed with how she did as well. I love people who can really perform raw live. There's obviously a lot more energy involved with hers. I love they brought out the big balls. They got a real hype song, and they're like, all right, let's go. They throw out the huge balloon balls, whatever they are, and bouncing around the crowd. I'm all for stuff like that, by the way. Anything that I can actually do, where it's like, ooh, ball. I'm completely distracted not watching them, though. So I'm just like, oh, don't let a ball land on my head. But I'm all for stuff like that. And then Pentatonix used confetti earlier. I'm all for stuff like that, too. Let me pull up the set list. It's a long set list, which is one thing I'll note. So I'm going to go through it as quick as possible. I'll just say, overall, loved the concert. I thought it was incredible. The best I've seen, probably. Yeah. I can say pretty confidently this is the best concert I've been to. I've only been to 2 others. plus the PTX Miss in July thing, but this one just really upped it. They like had so much in terms of value here, and they upped with the choreography and stuff. I was like, whoa. One theme I say that really stuck out to me, or stood out to me even, is that provocative moves, dare I say sexual moves, it's like a new thing they're really moving towards. Like they've always had some elements of that, and it's like, ooh, this will be a nice moment for the fans. Or there's like, or they'll do those nice choreo moments like the na leg kick and all that, where it's like, oh yeah. But they had some really provocative moves here, and that's what I'd seen this somewhere. But the whole Kirsty kind of humping on Scott kind of thing, that was something else. And they had a lot of moves other than that were really like, whoa, all right, they're really going out there. And I'm all for it, but it's just really interesting. They're going that far to that direction now. Like Kirsty had some really some risque moves in there where she was like bending down and like doing the dips, and then Matt had this great twerking moment, which was nice, where he's like backing it up, spinning around. It was a nice moment. I know someone filmed that too. It was they all I really liked especially Matt's outfits, like the red sequin kind of thing in the first outfit, and then the gold and black kind of color for the second outfit. Really, really nice. Mitch has been doing this thing where he's like really short shorts. I don't know why, but I mean, it's hot out there. I wouldn't want to be Scott in the full black like he had at one point, but he has at least really short shorts. That's like his new style, I guess. But yeah, they started out. The set list even says ominous intro. It's like, all right, don't pat yourself on the back too hard. They're like, they should might as well have said really cool ominous intro. This is an awesome intro, just an awesome intro. This was really cool. It's hard to really explain, but it was like doo doo doo, and like big, just a flash of lights behind this curtain. You just super bright lights. Doo doo doo. Really. They always have a really cool way to hype people up in the beginning. And then when you really start to see their silhouettes and in the fog they're starting to appear, really know how to hype up the crowd in the beginning. And Sing, they started with Sing, which is great. Sing works, in my opinion, much better as an opener than it did as... It was the encore song, if I'm remembering correctly, from the World Tour at least. It might have been from the Christmas tour too. And then this next one is big, and I want to talk about this one specifically for a bit, and that is Finesse. Finesse, you might recall if you watched my reactions, was probably my least favorite of their new album. I felt it was just really weak in comparison to most of them, and meaning that it kind of took a lot of the soul out of the song Bruno Mars just did so well at first. But they shattered my expectations for this live, and they really changed my perspective on it. It's like shifting my whole worldview on how they can do Finesse well, and they can really hype it up, and they did it much better live. And part of the reason is because they did the Cardi B, roughly Cardi B version. Even though I actually prefer the Bruno Mars version of the Cardi B, I don't really like the breakup into it. But this was so cool because they had Matt doing the Cardi B part. And that was such a nice moment. People were getting so hyped up from that, and I could just feel the energy coming just from that moment. It's like, oh, wow, all right, Matt is doing this right now. And, Matt, each time I see him perform, I feel like I'm going to like him more and more. He's never ceases to amaze me now. I even told him at meet and greet and private performance, I was hesitant at first, when they announced the new bass. Well, they're going to be replacing the bass, and I'm like, there's no way they can get anywhere near to what they had. But I'm like, they found him. They found the guy they need. And yeah, Matt's he's shattered my expectations. So Finesse, this not only did they really amp it up with the Matt part and everything, but this is where they had some really crazy choreography and a lot of really fun choreography introduced here. And definitely they've made a point to up the choreography, it seems, in this time around. So I'm very impressed by that. Attention was great. I love Attention as a recording. It's still great live, of course. Can't Sleep Love. They always love hyping this up. It's going to be our first original single. And it's like, oh, we already know what it is. And here it comes. And then I love that Mitch does the Tink part. That's great. Rejected, it's like a Vino. Havana Unana was next, which was great. They had the nice setup where it was almost like two staircases, and they had Scott up at the top. So they started off, and then it went to Scott where it was like Havana Unana, and he was doing these like kind of trying to do the sensual moves. I found it a couple of points where Scott was just like, where it felt like it was supposed to be serious choreography, but he was like being goofy about it, or like he's just too long and lanky for he's the noodle boy or whatever. So yeah, there's something about Scott that was really interesting to watch this time around too. Then they did Stay / The Middle mashup. By the way, I didn't really know any of the stuff that was going to come. I knew that some of the top pop stuff would be here, but other than that, I didn't really know the set list. I didn't know any of the choreography. I haven't watched anything, so this was nice for me. Didn't even know they were going to have a Stay in the Middle mashup, but it was pretty cool. You know, it wasn't the best mashup they've ever done, but I thought it was pretty seamless, and I love both of the songs. I love them. These are my kind of songs. The cello moment was awesome. This is where they brought Kevin out to do, and he hasn't done this in any of my concerts I've been to, actually, where Scott really hypes him up. It's really nice that they all put him on this kind of pedestal, because he is like especially an incredibly talented individual, and they all acknowledge that themselves. They all kind of like bow down to him, and they're like, oh yeah, that was amazing. He's like, no one else in the world can do the cello beatboxing combo, but he did some really, really cool stuff in there. Loved that. Any Kevin solo stuff is going to be something I love. Then they did Perfect, which isn't my favorite, especially not to get you hyped up in a concert, but it was nice. It was nice. Daft Punk. This is always amazing live. I love the rotating platforms. Another thing really that I it keeps emphasizing in my mind this concert, that is all the solo moments are great. They all can have really great standout moments, and they'll do that like nice sexy walk up to the front depending on the song, and they just kill it. I love those moments. Daft Punk is always one of my favorite parts of the show. Like, they've never done it wrong, and all the times I've seen them do it, every time. Despacito and Shape of You, I love this. I can't remember if this is the one where Kirsten does especially sexual moves, but I mean, they're kind of all over the place doing that, but it was great. It was great to watch. I was always just looking out for surprises, because luckily I hadn't watched all these things in video already that people posted, so it was really fresh for me. I was like, ooh, there's a nice little surprise in each one, and so good. These concerts keep reaffirming to me that, wow, they're even better live. Great. Rose Gold video transition / wardrobe change. Yeah, they had this whole video where they played Rose Gold, and then they were like they were saying inspirational things, each of the members, in like a recorded or a pre-recorded thing. It's like, all right, that's okay, I guess. It went a little longer than I would have liked. Like, they had some nice lines, and I was like, oh, that would be a nice way to end it there. But they kept going. But then they ended on Imagine. So it was like, all right, so the words Imagine came up, and I was like, all right, they're going to go to Imagine now. That would be a great transition. But then they had like a couple minutes where it was like nothing. They were kind of playing music to build it up. Probably played Rose Gold again. It was like a brief intermission, and then it went to Imagine. So I was like, oh man, I wish they could have timed it long enough so that Imagine would have been right before Imagine started, but what can you do? Imagine, amazing, oh yes. This is one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite covers they've really ever done. And that wall of sound, as it is such an amazing moment, both in recording and live. It's so good. So good. Obviously, you don't get all the tiny nuances, which are so beautiful in the wall of sound in the recorded version, because you can hear each way. You can hear each, note change and key change, and like everyone in the back harmonizing together perfectly. This one's more of an actual just wall of sound, but it all just came together so beautifully still. Love You Long Time. Wow, there we go. That was a throwback for sure. I don't know how many people knew this was happening or if it's the usual thing that they do, but this was cool to see. Got in a girl, taking my heart, and I'm so happy you're mine, 'cause I'ma love you a long time. These kinds of songs are really nostalgic to me, even though, I got into Pentatonix in 2015, so I wasn't there at the very beginning. But these are the kinds of songs that I would have in the playlist because they had all their songs at the time, and it wasn't nearly as an expansive a library as it is now. And this is one of the ones that would always come up, especially on college campuses. Reminds me of listening to their songs on shuffle. Love You Long Time's great. I don't know why it says in parentheses F on the set list. I don't know what that means exactly, but we'll move on. Evolution of Rihanna. This is something I should note, actually. You won't see an actual reaction video on my channel for this, the video they just posted, but I did film a reaction with Alex, Rob Reactor, Sweet Phil, and Hassan. Shay wasn't there at the time, so it was just the 5 of us, and that video, I believe, is going up on Hassan's channel, so when it does come up, I'll try to link it. Maybe I'll post a video saying check it out there. But that was a lot of fun. I hope you appreciate the formation there. I thought that would be cool. Evolution of Rihanna, though, was great. It was really great. And the video was such a delight. It was 7 minutes long, that video. I enjoyed every second of it. It got me to appreciate Rihanna more as well, because a lot of the songs I forgot were even Rihanna songs. I was like, alright, these are just a lot of songs that I kind of grew up on, in 8th grade. A lot of these songs would play. And I never really connected the dots that this was Rihanna. And then some of her recent songs were great as well. After this, they did what they call a throwback medley, where they had Kevin and Matt come up. They were doing some percussion stuff for some classic songs, like the really hype you up songs. It was almost like a brief intermission to get you hyped up for this later part of the concert. And they're the perfect duo to do it. I love their dynamic they have, and the energy they both bring is the craziest of everyone. They bring so much energy. They always stand out in the concert for me. So putting them together to hype people up, and then transition really nicely into New Rules, Are You That Somebody, because that was kind of the perfect way to transition to that, because it's like, oh, throwbacks, let's go into this. And then the 3 came forward. Beautiful. Awesome. I love that. Any Kevin Matt moments I can get, I'll take. They had great moments in this exclusive VIP. It was almost like an extended PT experience video. They had some great moments in that too. Then they did Cracked / Natural Disaster. I don't know how many people knew about this either, but this was really, really cool because, there's only so many times you can hear Natural Disaster. They love that song to death. You can tell Pentatonix just love pushing that song whenever they can. But it was nice that they changed it up a bit and Cracked. And I was like, oh, wait. Because they had this huge, a tilted screen, which goes into another tilted screen, which was a really cool setup. With the display stuff, depending on the song. So they had stuff like rain and, some, shaking and clouds and lightning and stuff. So I was like, oh, Natural Disaster's coming. But then they had Cracked come on, and as they were doing the thuds, cracks were appearing on the screen. I was like, oh, Cracked, okay. Which Cracked isn't really one of my favorite songs, really. But then it just so seamlessly transitioned into Natural Disaster, which is really cool. Loved how they did that, and it really went so seamlessly. That could have been its own song right there, and no one would have known the difference if they didn't know the two songs separately. And then we had Hallelujah, which these last three were, they were next level. The last three songs they did for this concert, Hallelujah, beautiful, beautiful. Last time when I got to see them do that for the first time, the Christmas concert, amazed me. It really did. And I was so impressed, blown away by that. It sounds so, like, just as beautiful as it did in the video. And it's really, really breathtakingly beautiful. And a moment I always love, always, the two concerts I've seen with Matt in it, is that Matt does his own spin on the Hallelujah, his solo, on the Hallelujah. And he goes for that really nice high moment you have to hear. I think I put it in probably included in the last concert if I was able to find it, talking about the Christmas concert. But you really have to hear that live. It's such an amazing moment, because if you're not expecting it, which I kind of was because they had done it before, but when I didn't expect it and I wasn't really thinking about it, it's still an amazing moment, because it's like, the bass guy is going to go for that low, or he'll go for that Avi, the way he did that tone, his tone on that song, but he went for a completely different direction and went high. And it's amazing. Those moments are the ones that I really live for in Pentatonix songs, where it's like they can flex their individual muscles in a song like that. Those solo moments with unexpected moments, it's not like always let's do who would objectively be the best in each position. It's not like, because could Mitch have done a bigger, higher note there? Yeah, but it will make for a much better moment if we have Matt do it at this point in the song. It is solo, and it'll really have a much more of an effect than if we had the expected high note person do that. That being said, let's move on to Sorry Not Sorry, which I don't even think about these things when they came up. It's like, okay, we're going to do a real hype song for this one, this last song. Sorry Not Sorry. I'm like, all right. It's more of the same throughout the song. I don't know if it's really that hype of a song. You say, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, baby, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. What a topical song, too. Demi Lovato. But then I forgot the huge moment at the end there, which is probably my favorite moment of the whole concert, which was the high note at the end of Sorry Not Sorry. And Mitch really went for it. He went all in on this. He didn't hold back. He didn't do a lighter version of the note. He went definitely bigger than he went in the actual recording. He just kept that note going so long, and even through all the applause, I could still hear it going. It was a really beautiful moment. And then that's when, right after he does the high note, confetti, cannons, and it sounded like gunshots. I was startled by it, and I've heard that most other people were startled by it too at that moment. It really came out of nowhere. That was amazing. And I was like, okay, I would be fine with that ending it there, but I know there's going to be an encore, so how could they even come anywhere close to that? But then, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody, yes. I don't know, did they do this as an encore last time, or did they just do it regular? I felt like they did it as a regular part of the set list before. It was amazing the first time I saw it. Amazing again. Just really, really, really good. And they gave Mitch yet another moment in that song, and it's like, wow, he still has a voice after that first note? Okay. I'm amazed they had the energy to keep up with this whole set list. Incredible. Bohemian Rhapsody, incredible. Alright, that's it. This is going to be a mess of video to put together because there's so many different moving pieces I have to put in the right place, but hopefully it works out. Wow. I really love the concert. VIP could have been better for me, especially considering it's the best package you could get, but I had to do it once in a lifetime experience to have it the weekend of PentaCon and have the best VIP package. It's like the ultimate weekend for Pentatonix, and then I can rest in peace. No, but now on maybe for a while I'll just do regular concert stuff, just enjoy them and not because there's always a certain amount of pressure in the VIP stuff too. You know, it's a little stressful leading up. It's like, what am I going to say here? What am I going to do here? What am I going to get signed off? As great as it is. This one I felt a lot less pressure though. You know, for some reason, having seen them before and everything, it made meet and greet and especially even private performance a lot easier to do too. It was easier to talk to them and interact, as opposed to I thought I would not be able to say anything, just be like Ed. Though I also thought we'd have more time, so I didn't get enough time to be awkward in my fullest capacity because it was so fast paced. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Dallas, Texas, Pentatonix, Dos Equis Pavilion, July 26, 2018. Now with that, I timed this really well. In about 14 minutes, there's going to be the opening ceremony for PentaCon Day 1. And hopefully I'll be back here to do another video, maybe recapping each day. We'll see how it goes. I don't know when I'm getting these videos up, because when am I getting extra time here? I'll have to get in whenever I get an extra couple hours, really, and work it in there. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. And let's look towards the future. Hold on. They're really asking for some trouble giving me a fidget spinner like this. PentaCon fidget spinner, yes. This is the best part of the weekend. Also, this, yes, cool. Wish my name was in here somewhere. That would have been nice. So cool. The whole schedule. We got a map of the rooms. We got the PentaCon committee, the events team. Special guest Mario Jose, he was amazing, by the way. I'm not like he performed, but no, I saw him when he came into the hotel, and he's so kind in person, and he's such a lovable person to be around. And I look forward to actually getting to talk to him more. You know, he has a whole meet and greet section and stuff. I wanted to talk to him. I saw him in the concert. He was right near us in the pit. I wanted to talk to him, but he got kind of swarmed in the middle aisles, and people kept coming up to him for pictures, and he couldn't escape. So I was like, alright, I'll leave him be then. And all the Penta parents, insane amount. That's an insane amount. That's 9 parents plus Candace, Kevin's sister. I'm really looking forward to the essential oils and oil-infused products that Young Living is bringing to PentaCon vendors. Thank you so much for that. Oh yes, an Organic Jungle is here with their handmade soaps. 1-minute massage. Heaven is what their description is. Smiley face. Alright, that's enough. Bye-bye. I'm done. Get out of here.